1, 2, 1, 2. That's better. Doing something new, so want to be able to stream to 2 different platforms at the same time. All right, so we are streaming. I can hear my audio coming over my iPad, so let's turn this down. Doing something new, so. And for those on the Facebook side, I don't see where anyone has come in. I'll be bouncing around back and forth as I'm in preparation. I've never streamed to both platforms directly. I've always linked, but this is a direct stream so that I can see and hear the comments. As you can see, I've got my page set up in celebration mode. Going to have, at least I want to have some fun tonight. That's what I want to do. Break a few Facebook rules in the process. Let me turn down the gain on my microphone. I'm watching how it's peaking. There, that should be a good spot where I can speak normal and you won't hear my creaking chair as I'm turning back and forth. Hello, hello, Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. Let's change another scene here. Okay, thank you. I had OBS reset several times tonight and I couldn't understand why it was doing it. I thought I had it fixed, but apparently it reset a lot of my settings. So thank you, Stardom, for letting me know that the audio stopped. I should go back in and cover. I am Sam Tolbert. I am a 46-year church musician, retired, who loves helping musicians become the best version of themselves possible. And I am hours away from my quote unquote 67th birthday. And I wanted to go live, not just here on YouTube with the, hey Stardom, thank you. Go not on YouTube, let's just not on YouTube where I can field questions and comments and have some fun, but also on my Facebook page. This is the first time I'm doing this setup. As I say, I'm hoping that OBS does not crash on me because I've never put it to this stress of streaming to 2 platforms from one software. Nice to know it is possible. It may give me another avenue of doing live lessons in the future. So I just wanted to share my history in music, some songs. I may break some YouTube rules and pull up some songs that I've learned in my past and actually play along with it and just have some fun. I've got a couple in mind already, but for the most part, I just wanted to have some fun. So let me do some what I call housekeeping and welcome those on my Facebook page. No, rather on my YouTube page, because I usually welcome you guys most of the time. Please let me know if my voice has sort of a reverb to it. I'm actually going through my keyboard because there's a microphone input on my keyboard, so that because my standard mic, which is what I have right here, will not allow me to do what I'm doing right now. So if that reverb you're hearing is keyboard generated, there may be a way to turn it off. There's quite a few buttons here on the keyboard, but it also gives my voice that hall effect anyway. Let me just finish my housekeeping. Let me know who you are and where you're. If you've been keeping up with my YouTube page, you see I've got several shorts where I'm not doing gospel. I'll put it like that. Because I have discovered in the YouTube short environment, you have to put something out there in 60 seconds that will capture the ears of the listener. So I'll go into the era of music that path that I did not go down. I'll pull up a nice rhythm on the keyboard, which we're going to do tonight and have some fun. And then I just allow myself to be creative, just spur of the moment. What does it sound like? So I'll let you get to hear some of that tonight also. Let me just verify if anybody has come in on my Facebook side. I don't see anyone in there yet. Let's put the same welcome there. So I'll be bouncing between two streams. So let me go back to my YouTube page. Welcome, Daryl. Thank you. Stardom. I'm still not muted, I don't think. I should be coming across. I can hear. I'm listening on my iPad to make sure that I can hear the signal coming across. And Daryl. So, 67 years. What does that mean to me as I reach 3 years short of 70 years old? Well, I'm in good health, according to my doctor. Yes, I do need to lose some weight. Cheeks are still a little puffy, not as puffy. They're not as low down as they should be. I've got my water right here to keep myself hydrated. I'll be getting into doing some exercise. And I'm just enjoying this part of life. I have retired from working. I have retired from the stressful job as a church musician. But I love still being involved in everything music. So this is going to be kind of a shed session and conversation in celebrating my, I guess in U.S. time, it's about 9:53, so 2 hours and 7 minutes cross over into tomorrow, the 16th, my official 67th birthday. So let's just do some music. Let's see, we have some special scenes I've shut up. Here we go. That's one of the scenes I put together, the view of my the world, because that's where, an image of where we inhabit, a little dry land effect, you might say. You're getting an image of my Yamaha keyboard without all of the Chordy app being shown. I do have the Chordy app turned up, but this gives me a chance now to just, as they say, freestyle. Ouch! Just hit my toe on something down here. Freestyle, just a little bit. Let's see, what are we in? Let's pull something that's going to Just looking at some of the different sounds. Are we still? Yes, we are still live. Good. And I'm monitoring. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone coming in. Okay. Let's see. Coastal, no, I don't like that sound. Belly dancer, I don't like that sound. Warm feeling. So this is the warm feeling track. I want to make sure that that's coming across. So nice warm introduction. This is probably the most used piano that I use whenever I'm doing a live stream or a video. It's called the Mellow Grand on the Yamaha S70XS. Gives me a nice mellow but yet full sound for all these jazz chords, which I've learned all throughout my year as a musician. Going up, don't make sure I don't miss anyone. Just checking. As I say, I have 2 streams running at the same time. In fact, what I want to do is to verify that got to keep positioning my camera. So I'm watching 3 screens. I want to make sure that okay, it is active. I'm sharing my page with my Facebook group of musicians so sometimes they don't get updated. Okay. I think that's enough. Technology. Where was this 30, 40 years ago when I was a young musician wanting to learn how to do anything musical? And we go back to the main page. There we go. So there is a method to any madness when it comes to playing music, especially for church music. You always want to, people say, feel the music, and that's hard to do if you haven't been in the environment of musicians. As a youngster in school, I remember they took us to in New York City. In the New York City school system, they took us to Radio City to hear an orchestra and to be surrounded in an environment where all that instrumentation was going on in my head. You know, you get that feeling that the live musicians can actually put around you all the different movements, and it would always catch my attention as to how are they able to do this. So there was that desire to learn to create music. Of course, coming from a family of church musicians, everybody having their own style, they were all involved in getting to their level of music. So no one could really spend any time with me, although show me this and that. But again, life was evolving for them. I was probably number 3 on the list of, number 3 on the list of the oldest. I am, approaching 67. I'm not the oldest. That is my brother. He is already 70. My next brother is 68 currently right now. And I'm a family of 8 children. So we spanned 2 decades in age. Not all are musicians, but most of the boys have some involvement in music, and we all have different styles. I'm the one that is the technician. I like to take a song apart, where you have one that loves to just improvise on the song, another who likes violin and bass, another who just learns the song to be able to play for a choir. But I'm the one that takes the song apart. This is the movement of this voicing, the movement of that voicing, the movement of this instrument. And because you play piano, you really don't get to imitate a bass player, imitate a string player, imitate a horn player. But with today's keyboards now, you can, if you're doing an actual production. So this is the path of music that was open to me. Once I began to be indoctrinated into the path of music as an instrumentalist, I began to listen to more music that wasn't church-based, which is why when I switch genres of music, I find a comfort level because I'm a connoisseur of music. If I hear something, I begin to immediately break it apart, break it down in my head. What key is it in? What chord structures are they using? How do they make those chords sound the way they sound? So this is part of the shedding that I want to do tonight, is to give you a concept of what that. One, two, three. Yes, I had to check and verify that the microphone was reset for this page. As I say, when OBS shut down on me several times, it messed up all of my presets. So now we got the microphone and we got the keyboard there. So as I was saying, this is my workspace page. This is where I go to create lessons for church musicians. But I'm actually teaching myself. When the Chordiac plays a chord name, D minor 9, 11, Unless I had a book open, I'd have to go find this chord in the page and hear every chord that I'm playing in my hand. And then I have to go in my mind and research, where have I heard this chord used? There's a song that says, he keeps on doing great things. He keeps on doing great things. So now that and I hadn't played that song ever, because again, it came to mind. Where's that chord? Where did I hear that chord from? He keeps on. Now I can stretch it out. And to turn around. Keeps on. I can switch now. Can't remember the verse. A flat. There's the change. There we go. He keeps on. So I'd have to go now and research that song. It may be on YouTube, it may not, just to do it correctly. But as my memory goes back, make sure I haven't missed anyone, I can now relate these chords, change keys. Things that may have been foreign to me as a young musician hearing these songs, now that I can apply years of instruction, of learning different chord patterns, and then involving myself in the actual books that this type of music has come out of. Always got to verify my camera doesn't shift on me. It makes it the more fun to revisit some of those songs. So let's pull up one of my presets and let's see what we can do. This one is called Love Songs. I get to you. I don't remember the song. I got that part. The closer I get to you. It walks up. Nope, there it is. It's R&B. I have to hear this song. I'm going through memory. So just to have just to have the history of chords that may have been taboo back in the church day, want to verify if anybody's coming on my Facebook page. Doesn't look like I've got anyone there yet. Hopefully they're coming in. Just to now using technology to go back in my past to those songs which were not necessary for me to learn, to know that I can now listen to them and start to break down what those songs sound like. Up another one. Oh, Bop Do You Drop. This is jazz. I love using this one because it's got a pre-programmed bass there, and now I can do jazz. Six, 2, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, 3, 5, 6, 2, 5, 1. So to have the ability now of having a pre-programmed bass player, now that's not probably what I would do, but to be able to know that I can work with that. I'm always trying to relate it to gospel. That's bop till you drop. But as you see, I now try to emulate songs I've heard that maybe had that kind of tempo to it, that type of running bass line. I'm not a jazz musician. I will dabble in and out and pull out excerpts from it to add to songs, and that's just the fun of going through some of the other pre-programmed. Let's see what we got. Semi-finale. Oh, that's the to be able to decipher music. Now, all that I just played is just looking at the keys and seeing where I started and what direction do I want to go to. Let me see. always envisioned myself writing movie script or theme music to, maybe not to a major movie screen, but to a short story film. If I get the opportunity came my way, I could open up beyond the sound of gospel. As I say, I hear that echo, and I'm actually listening to myself talk, so I know you're hearing the echo that's in there. But open up to that, from the sound of gospel to all those different genres of music that I have absorbed. Let's move from this one. Strumming and humming. The string sound is a tremendous current day sound that you can't, hard to emulate it with a keyboard manually, but with a keyboard that has been programmed to make it sound like an actual. Hey, welcome, Jai Lumpkin. Oh, thank you very much. I'm actually reading the stream from my Facebook page. I'm streaming to two platforms, to YouTube and to my Facebook page, just again, shedding with musicians, and give you an opportunity to share with me. I'm going to verify that I'm not missing any comments. I'm looking at two different screens. But this is a fun thing for me to have been participating in, I would say, since the age of 8 or 9, when I began to be introduced into the sound of music as a flute or recorder player, where we learned how to play Roll, Roll, Roll Your Boat, and kids are blowing into a flute. I tried to master it. In fact, usually I have my show and tell. Let me see if I can pull it out. Oh, there it is. This is not the original one I had. It was more plastic based than what this one is. Let's change our scene. So this is where music for me began, as a young instrumentalist in a public school, where they just pretty much made it mandatory for all the children to take music in some format. And I was so happy because there was someone willing to teach me music. Now, I'd gotten very good at playing it without the sheet music in front of me. Let's see if I can still play the scale. Still do the scale. Let me see. Can't get that note. Trying to do total praise. Can't get the higher note. There is a range limit on this one. No, can't get the high E on it because I'm in C. Let's see if I can get the lower note. So it had its limitations, but just to be able to play roll without sheet music in front of me was fun, but it didn't just stop here, but it started here. As I began to move ahead, I went from this in one school to French horn in junior high school, and then to mellophone in high school. And they're introduced to so many varying styles of music. I didn't want to just play a single note or play within a orchestra, but I wanted to be able to sit down to the piano and use that same concept, that same, how can I put it? Yes, Charles. The Bronx, New York, I will feel had the best musicians. I'm sure you would say Brooklyn, New York had better. I never got to hear the musicians in Brooklyn, but we in the Bronx, PS6, Tremont Avenue, we rocked every auditorium service, every auditorium we had as a bunch of musicians. In fact, one of my good friends, and excuse me, my YouTube YouTube family. I'm talking to one of my viewers from my Facebook page. One of my good friends to today that I started in music with, he played guitar and I played the flute and a little bit of piano. He played in E major and I struggled trying to keep up with him because he was very good on the guitar. He actually founded a group, I want to say, I should know the name of the group. I've spoken with him in the past, but he followed his love of music and actually formed a group. And I believe Disco Nights was their major hit, along with several other videos. And he again did the music scene, and he's still involved in music, going around doing reviews of the 70s styles of music leading into disco. Every now and then we will talk and communicate and keep up with one another. I believe we're the only two that from that era that still keep in contact. But just to know that the music kept him and still keeps him today, as he still embraced the teaching of the teachers we have that taught us in music and his love for it. I went one way, gospel, he went the other way, the industry music. And we both wound up good. We're both same age now, because we're both in school at the same time. But that's how powerful music is. It can direct your mind in the actual discipline of learning chords, hearing them correctly, learning notes, and then working within a group of people, which is what I try to foster on both of my platforms, not just on my Facebook page, but on my YouTube page, the actual discipline of learning chords, learning melodies, of investing in yourself so that you can find out where could you have gone if given I won't say a free pass in music, but if an opportunity presented itself, are you prepared and ready to go into that opportunity? As a youngster, I wasn't. I learned enough to be what's the word I want to use? To be successful in wherever I was. I often question my mind after all these years, gee, what if I had a chance to go to one of the more prestigious music schools? When you're in a family of 7 and everybody has to eat and only 2 people are really working, that doesn't leave a lot of opportunities. And since I was not a progeny, as some other musicians have been in their life, I wasn't the one somebody heard playing and said, hey, that young man, I'll use the term boy, that young man has something in him. let me sponsor him to be mentored. So I kind of do that here on both Facebook and on YouTube, is to give an opportunity for a lot of younger budding musicians, especially in the church world, to hear music played from a different perspective. Now, I do appreciate all the other platforms, especially on YouTube, that I've been fortunate to have played a part in some of their upbringing. There are a lot of sites that when I go to visit and I subscribe and I just leave a comment, they say, "Oh, there's Mr. Talbert." They use the term GOAT, not in the sense of an animal, but the acronym, which I know about acronyms, GOAT, greatest of all time. And I don't consider myself great because I don't have a plaque anywhere. I don't have, outside of behind me, you'll see some of the awards that churches have been gracious enough to appreciate the work that I have done with them musically. But you won't see any Grammys on that wall. You won't see any Stellar Awards because I served. I stayed in the church. I did not leave to go and find fame. But I said, I'm here, family man, have a job which helps to support them and myself. Let me support as I would if I were on my own, seeking the accolades of music lovers. So this era of technology allows me now to branch out. I'm no longer playing for a choir marching in, but I still keep that marching in spirit. I'm no longer playing for soloists who are singing songs to represent their vocal talent, but I still listen to someone singing the Star Spangled Banner, as I did with Chris Stapleton, I believe it was, and I immediately sat to my piano and started chording behind him singing. I said, oh, I see what key he's in. I see the chords. I see he's following the natural number system, 1, 4, 5, but he's not using a 6. He's not putting a 7th chord in that. He's not using a minor chord there. So let me just create a video behind his voice. And those type of opportunities come up in this virtual world where you can actually go back and re-listen to something, and then if I were there, let's see, Star Spangled Banner, I'm trying to remember, I think he did it in the key of D flat. Oh no, it was E flat. Let's get out of strumming and humming. Or was he in A flat? Trying to remember the key he did it in. Let's see if I can pull that video up while we're live here and play behind it live while everybody's watching. I've got to switch some settings for sound. Okay, that's good. And let's pull up YouTube. I won't pull up the actual video so you see it, but I will pull up the audio part of it. As I said, I'm going to offend. Here we go. National anthem. Now let's hope that the NFL does not come after me while I do this. Let's pull this up. Let's see if I can get the audio to come up.
Big name in EVs, trucks and vans, rentals, 5-letter word.
All right, there's something playing in the background, but I don't hear it. Let's see if I can change my audio settings. Let's turn. All right, let's see if I can hear this now.
Let's go!
From the nation's capital.
All right, it's not playing, not allowing me to play it. Probably because I have so much turned on. It's not allowing me to play it so that I can hear it. Let's redirect it to another audio output. let's send it to let's send it here, see if it comes through.
And the Military District of Washington. Today's colors will be presented by the Armed Forces Color Guard and Drum.
I'm not hearing it, so I can't give you that demonstration. Let's send it through my speakers here.
And the President's own United States Marine Band. Of the national anthem, 8-time Grammy Award winner Chris Stapleton.
So I got it playing through speakers. D flat. All right, so let me stop that right there. So I know he's in, once I found out where he was in D flat, and because I do know the Star Spangled Banner, because I do practice it in the scale, it starts on the 5th note. I can now give it a jazz chord. And on the 6th. Now I know it's going to an F, so it's an F chord. Back to where I was. Stay right there. Go to the E flat 7th. And now I can go anywhere I want, straight to the A flat or an E minor, which is the 2. And give that crawl. I basically form the keys and just slide across. So all these chords are a part of my history, a part of what I've heard other people use in different songs. I know it's going to be the F or the 3, but now I'm going to switch up and do an A flat strange, 2, 5, 1. I'm learning. A gospel. Now I'm going to go to the F, to the G flat, F, and this is a circle of 4ths. These are the chords I used when I was listening to it. I wanted to use that minor, A flat minor over a B, because it's going to resolve. Take it to another minor. These are those contemporary chords I've heard in the Hawkins songs. Back to A flat, 2, 5, 1. Whole tone chords. I think one of my comments, oh, welcome. Thank you, JMilk100. One of the comments, and I always take comments on answer comments on my Facebook page. They wanted me to to give them a better understanding of what the whole tones were about. Whole tone chords are all over music, especially Disney music. It sets a sense of, expectation. It's going to change into something. Again, I like to stretch my chords, melody on top. Now, that's the range. How many chords can I get in this range based upon how many fingers I have and which chords will be in that scale and how far can I go outside of it. And that is a common for this song. Every rendition I've heard played uses that ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum. So I borrow from, again, what I hear. And then add to it. The gospel turnaround. Now I call it gospel because it may be a jazz turnaround, but I've heard this change done so many. Now I went A major, stay on the A and go to the B. Go back to another minor, 4 minor. 4. There it is. A classical move. If you listen to Richard Smallwood's Amen and Total Praise, I borrow chords from every song that I have ever heard, and I adapt and use them to fulfill musically what I'm looking to do. It is that fun part of being a musician where you can just look at a keyboard, hear a song, sit down to it, and start playing and creating and adapting your sound to what you hear. Then of course I'll hear somebody else play it and I'll go, wow, never thought to go that direction with it. Making up as I go. Chromatic chords. Just throw that in there. Music is it is a source of comfort, a source of consolation. You never know, especially the younger musicians. I keep stressing practicing scales so that you can begin to hear everything in music that you want to learn. Let's bring up something gospel. God is my everything. When I learned this song, I had a ball teaching it because it gave me that good old gospel sound. I'm sorry I can't bring up, and I should be able to bring up, because I've done this in the past. The music from my YouTube page onto
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda CR-V.
onto
Hyundai Tucson.
the stream. Let me just take a look and see what am I not doing that I've done in the past. Let me, because again, I got so many things happening, something might just break on me. So I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna do this. I have a mic I can position over to my computer speakers, and it should be able to pick up what I want to hear. Oh, it's not even showing up. Why is it not even showing up? There it is. Why is it not available to me? Strangely enough, I'm not getting even the volume out of my speakers. I don't know if you can hear that. So those type of songs that had a lot of, oh, seems I've lost my camera. Sorry about that. That's messing, as I say, when I start messing with stuff. Well, let's find the camera now. Camera, where are you?